cool to film remotely. We did like a dress rehearsal beforehand where we had to kind of set our frame, and I had to clean up the top of my fridge because I had a bunch of stuff on it. It was neat. It was also kind of strange, but it was a cool challenge. It was a cool challenge. Tilda this season, I think, changed a little bit, because in the first season she was a little more, I mean, she's always kind of watching everything play out and thinking, and I think she's choosing when she speaks up about things. But I feel like she was even more like that this season, because I think quarantine hit Tilda pretty hard. Where does Tilda stop and I begin, or do I stop and Tilda begins? I'm not Tilda, I'm Cara. But I also was feeling pretty lonely during quarantine. I don't have the same health issues as Tilda, but I know what it's like to have health issues, so I kind of bring myself to that. I was pretty active over the summer in Black Lives Matter protests, so I brought that to Tilda. And that was a neat part about this session as well. And it was the same in season 1, where we had the opportunity as actors to sit down with Alexi and really think, like, oh, what parts of our lives do we want to bring to this? What serves the story for these characters? And that helps you when you're improvising the dialogue, because you have like a home base to come back to, like, oh, these core things that I share with this character, I can come back to that. We were dealing with a lot of intense topics. I think season 1, we're dealing with intense issues in our day-to-day, you know, like everybody has problems, and everybody's problems are valid. Season 2, it kind of moves into this place, though, of, instead of more like micro individual problems, it's kind of like macro issues. You know, obviously COVID, Black Lives Matter, and the racism that exists in our country. This feeling of not really knowing whether there's a future or not. So yeah, like a lot of bigger issues that everyone individually is dealing with, but it's also like under this collective consciousness. And my favorite moment of Tilda in season 2 was when she talked about being scared to log off the Zoom. That was like totally something that just came out of my body. And that usually happens, and none of these things are really planned. That's the essence of improv. But yeah, that was just something, I guess, that charging myself with this feeling of Tilda's health issues and her feeling like she's not taking care of herself, and feeling kind of bombarded by all of these ideas of death and thoughts of death. I think, yeah, charged with that, and then with my own experiences with Zoom and quarantine, living alone, it was just totally what I was feeling in that moment as Tilda. I was like terrified to log off the Zoom because I was scared I'd be really alone afterwards. And I think that was something interesting, because afterwards it inspired other people to share that they were feeling the same way. And Zoom's weird, so it's cool to not pretend like, oh, everything's normal. Like, it's cool to acknowledge, oh wow, we're on this interface. We're using this platform and it's totally strange, but we're doing the best we can. And while season 1 we're all confined to a room, the same room, season 2 we're all confined to our Zoom cameras. So it's just a different type of space that we're sharing, but we're still sharing it even though we're not in the same room. I probably put the group in the most danger of not having a finished product, because I didn't recognize that I didn't have enough space on my computer at the time. So we filmed the whole session, and then afterwards I went back on my phone and my computer, and the video was just black. So I was really nervous at the end. I was like, oh my god, I totally blew it, because my character Tilda kind of reached this really vulnerable moment at the end, the exact moment when my computer stopped recording and my phone stopped recording. So I was like, oh my god, like of all times for this to happen, what are we gonna do? What's Alexi gonna do? I felt like I didn't really serve up, I didn't do my job because because there was a huge technical difficulty and I didn't have the product to give to my director. But Alexi, it's pretty amazing what he did. He basically, I think he took from another section of the filming session, he took a technical glitch when somebody was breaking up or whatever, and he put it in that section at the end, so then he could justify the more crackly, lo-fi quality of my Zoom visual. And then he just used that, so he totally made it work. And he also did a lot of creative stuff with the mosaics and which screen was forward and backward at what time. And yeah, you wouldn't have known unless you know, and now you know. And I am clearing my computer. So season 3, we will have space.